Momoshiki will turn Konoha from this to this in less than a minute, and a major hint is hidden within the prologue itself. With the reveal of what Boruto's UZUHIKO Rasengan is capable of, the fear of karma that he showed back in chapter 9 is pretty much justified. The cliffhanger of the latest chapter has left us with the possibility of Momoshiki's awakening, so could it be that the 5th volume of Two Blue Vortex will begin with the destruction of Konoha? Let's find out. The power of a god will reduce the village to ashes. Momoshiki's most anticipated debut in Two Blue Vortex has kept the entire fandom hooked for almost a year now. The mystery of his disappearance and the theories speculating an answer are endless. The community has been screaming "Where is Momoshiki?" after every chapter release. But with Boruto's unfortunate incident from the latest one, seems like we are really close to the divine reveal. After condensing to a parasite inside the body of Boruto, there was not much that Momoshiki could do to change his destiny. Before the infamous killing of his vessel, the monster used to emerge through the karma to speed up his reincarnation process. But when the revival clock hit 82%, Kawaki decided to kill Boruto with a very fatal blow. This should have marked an end to the threat of Momoshiki too, but surprisingly, he used his own DNA to revive him, accepting his fate to live within his consciousness forever. However, instead of getting his plan spoiled completely, Momoshiki still hoped for the very best by expecting to steal the identity of Boruto once he loses everything. While this prophecy did not actually take everything away from Boruto, considering how he managed to escape the village, have a few supporters and become the strongest, Momoshiki still managed to instill fear into his vessel's heart. But the off-screen incident which has turned the karma into a haunting for Boruto was just the beginning of the worst possible future. Now we are not here to discuss what happened when the monster took him over during the time skip, or if Boruto had mastered the UZUHIKO back then or not, which may have been the reason that made Koji believe he could potentially destroy the world. But our main focus should lie on the upcoming event, which could make Momoshiki the destroyer of everything. The latest cliffhanger showed us Boruto getting hit by Jura's attack, and even though he survived it, the fact that he fell down and Jura is now thinking of eliminating him is really alarming. In chapter 71, he promised to protect his precious vessel, as it's his only medium to communicate with the outside world. The death of Boruto would mean the death of Momoshiki, so now that a situation has arisen where someone really powerful is serious to kill Boruto, Momoshiki would need to do something to survive. But survival may not be his only goal here. Boruto's current state has given the monster a golden chance to emerge and do something unimaginable. The reason Karma's activation was feared so much may have something to do with what Momoshiki is capable of. So as we know, the most broken jutsu is now in the hands of Boruto. It's called the UZUHIKO, which takes the planet's energy to charge itself, and since there is no limit to how long the user would charge, the potential of this power becomes limitless. Moreover, the name of this ability reminds me of the Uzumaki clan, who may have been behind this power too, explaining why it's called the UZUHIKO. This yet again illustrates how the shinobis created their own atomic bomb by forming a deadly technique which can destroy everything. Even the name of this ability translates to Vortex Boy, and while it can be taken as a reference to Boruto himself, there is a good amount of chance that it's an alias of some Uzumaki member who created this technique. Well, make sure to subscribe because a really interesting video is coming soon on this topic. So Momoshiki tapping into the power of Boruto would naturally grant him the leverage of easily wiping out the entire world. The biggest fear of Boruto would come true when his inner monster would utilize his body to erupt chaos all around. The UZUHIKO technique might be the key to destruction, and what's even worse is that Momoshiki can use it more efficiently since he has a lot more experience than his vessel. It could be that he would take a lot less time to charge this power, but the question remains exactly how much. Well, to figure out the time difference between Boruto and Momoshiki's UZUHIKO, we can measure the time taken by the vessel to charge it and then cut it by half to obtain the answer. It would have been helpful if we had an anime adaptation of this sequence where Boruto charges the UZUHIKO, but since we don't have it yet, here's how we will find out the in real life time taken by Boruto in gathering the planetary energy. We would need to count the panels where Boruto appears and then convert that to anime's runtime. Now since we don't have the official animation of these panels and using fan animation won't give accurate results, let's take the panel count of some other sequence from the manga and then draw a comparison with its anime counterpart. I'm taking the Boro fight as a reference from anime's episode 208, corresponding with the manga's chapter 43. Starting from this panel where Borushiki was shown till the point where he lost consciousness. There are a total of 10 manga panels, and as for its anime adaptation, it sums up to exactly 1 minute and 17 seconds. After counting the panels of UZUHIKO from the latest chapter, the number that we obtained was 7. Converting it to anime's runtime using the formula from Borushiki's adaptation, we get 1 minute and 2 seconds. seconds. So Boruto would approximately take a minute to charge the Uzuhiko to a level of destroying a full-fledged enemy. Another point to be noted is that he told Sarada his technique is not fully ready before shooting it, and this might be why Hidari had to be stomped by Kawaki, also indicating the charge time of Uzuhiko that Boruto considers full is more than 1 minute. But if just a minute of chakra absorption can cause this much destruction to a full-fledged Entails humanoid, imagine what a few minutes of charge could do. Now when it comes to Momoshiki, we can expect him to absorb double planetary energy in literally half time, so he would need less than a minute in charging the Uzuhiko to the point of killing Tentails creatures. It can be concluded that Momoshiki's absorption of planetary chakra in an isolated area could make his limitless Rasengan so strong that he would literally annihilate anyone, be it Jura or any other powerful enemy. He would require some agility to quickly utilize this acquired power, and its consequences would be fatally dangerous. Now looking at the sleeve of Boruto from the future, it seems like he used the Rasengan Uzuhiko to such an extent that it led to his sleeve getting torn, and as the hints are indicating, it's highly likely for Momoshiki, who used his body to create mass havoc and destruction, fulfilling his forgotten prophecy. So basically it was worth it for him to fuse with Boruto, as his arrogance would have never let him train so much. He's basically the Frieza of this verse, who is immensely talented, but his overconfidence makes him believe that he's already the winner. The series seems to be taking so many references from Dragon Ball, so I won't be surprised if Momoshiki unlocks a black or golden form just to become the final boss of the story. There are so many hints which make me think this way, and I'm sure you will find them sensible and interesting. First and foremost, he was renowned as the strong Otsutsuki who used to destroy stars, yet his legacy came to an end by the hands of the people he regarded as inferior. He must have quickly reconsidered his inferior list when he had no option left but to give his karma to a human who killed him. Even though the Otsutsuki was overly dependent on easy solutions, there is something that diverged him from the other members of his clan. It's obvious that he must have also consumed a large number of chakra fruits, but unlike the other Otsutsukis, he did not unlock any broken combative abilities. Rather, he ended up having the ability to freeze time and the ability to see the future. It could be that Momoshiki channeled the power he got from devouring planets into upgrading his Byakugan as well as unlocking the time stoppage ability instead of enhancing his speed and strength. Back in episode 65, when Momoshiki said to Boruto that he has strongly inherited Otsutsuki powers, he also mentioned that he is still inexperienced as he cannot see his own fate. By this we can conclude Momoshiki may have been able to see his own fateful destiny, and that's why he chose to never train and rely on shortcuts, as he knew it from the beginning that he would grab the strongest vessel. This means his Byakugan showed him his own fate, and he then played the game accordingly, like by not stressing too much about combative powers and things like that. The reason he unlocked the time stoppage power could also have something to do with the future that he foresaw. He knew he is going to be the host of Boruto, and that's why he learned the power to stop time. Without this ability, he wouldn't be able to communicate with Boruto efficiently. So in a nutshell, every move that he made was in accordance of the foreseen future. We never saw him using the power of time prior to his parasitic transformation. This may be because he had saved this ability for later, or maybe he could only use it within Boruto. The reason I think so is because he could have easily won the Naruto Sasuke fight by stopping time, yet he refused to do so. We could see both of them becoming motionless when Momoshiki appeared, which means they were not immune to this power. So why didn't Momoshiki use this power to get them killed? Well, it's either because he was making moves according to the foreseen future, or he only unlocked this power after becoming a spirit. At hindsight, he definitely made the perfect moves, and here's why I think so. During the finale fight of Momoshiki arc, Boruto was indeed talented but not immensely powerful. He would have been a good source for his revival, but since his main goal was to become the strongest, it wouldn't have made sense for him to just die and be revived. Now the thing with Naruto and Sasuke is that if the monster had killed him, maybe Boruto wouldn't have ended up in a situation to train really hard just to become the strongest. This is why he spared both of them, and the butterfly effect took place eventually, turning Boruto into an Otsutsuki with a really broken power. Momoshiki played the game wisely like a deity to secure the most advantage. You must have seen him regard himself as a god back in episode 65, and he refers to Boruto as an extraordinary individual just because he did something that no normal person could have done. He killed an Otsutsuki, the beings who are no less than gods to the mankind. Surprisingly, a lot of plot points from the story hint at the Otsutsuki devotion being a real thing. Throughout the history of mankind, miracles have been revered as manifestations of the divine, often seen as signs of higher powers intervening in the natural world. The creation of ninjutsu, a watered-down variant of Otsutsuki abilities, also coordinated a systematic approach for the mankind to get stronger. stronger. But little did they know these magic techniques would one day destroy everything. Now you could ask me how humanity is there to be blamed if the end will be brought by Otsutsuki's anyway. Well, the humans were responsible for using chakra in ways which caused misery and destruction to the world. But more than that, their use of chakra-based powers unveiled their planet to Otsutsuki's, since they must have detected unusual chakra activity. In other words, if they had never used chakra to their advantage or ulterior motives, chances are Otsutsuki's like Momoshiki would have never found their planet, ending the story of Naruto after the Kaguya saga. We may still have got some extra content like the Ishiki saga in the form of a one-shot or a novel, since this Otsutsuki had been living on the planet from centuries. But as there are countless possibilities in Boruto's cinematic universe, the return of otherworldly entities was the most plausible way to continue the story. Not to mention, back in the day, some notorious clans like the Uzumaki's created techniques that even threatened the Otsutsuki's. Their sealing jutsus like the Reaper Death Seal could easily seal up an Otsutsuki regardless of their karma reincarnation cycle. Not to mention, the mysterious disappearance of Uzumaki's is also linked to the Otsutsuki clan, and you can check out these videos to find out more. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next time.